think they're a benefit to us. I think that big events like Glastonbury, especially Glastonbury's amazing for this particular thing, but also, you know, the more mainstream dance events, the more mainstream festivals like Reading, Leeds, Tea in the Park, they bring people to festivals. They bring most people's first time at a festival when you're 16 or 17 is one of the big corporate whoppers. So they're like gateway events, so they bring people into festivals. They're like anything else. You know, you go to a couple of those and then your tastes start to evolve a bit, your tastes start to mature, and it's like, well, actually, you know, let's go to a slightly more kooky version. So I think they help a lot, especially Glastonbury. Glastonbury is like the mothership, you know, it's this incredible event, and it just brings people to the festival culture. So most people, it's Reading, Leeds, Glastonbury, Tea in the Park, Oxygen in Ireland, you know, it's always the big one, because it's when you're 16, you're like, all you do is look at the music price, it's like, wow, NME, you know, let's go, you know, and then after a while it's like anything else, like whether it's music or food or wine, as your tastes mature and you start to go for something just a bit more, you know, just not quite so obvious, yeah. That doesn't take anything away from Glastonbury, incidentally. Glastonbury is commercial and it's huge, but it's still absolutely amazing, it's brilliant. I think we've got the core. I don't think we've lost anything. I think it's just been augmented by there's more people a bit more interested. You know, we're seeing it in DJ magazine and going, wow, that looks cool. Or, you know, like this year we won the best dance event in the UK Festival Awards. That will generate, you know, fresh interest. People come and having a look. We've expanded the music policy quite a lot. You know, we've brought in fresh genres and fresh promoters. So. Yeah, we're just trying to, you know, but we always sort of stay this side of the line in terms of being quite, you know, sort of underground and quite cool, and don't get too commercial. So we keep attracting the same kind of people, which is sort of open-minded, sort of just a bit more left field, a bit more, you know, think a little bit differently, a little bit quirkier, because we're not going for big names, you know, like Radio 1. Not there's anything wrong with that, but that's just not our vibe. I mean, we've had a lot of amazing, extremely famous and very successful bands and DJs, but I guess there's some that just, you know, they play a style of music that is a little bit more pop, a little bit sort of, you know, I'd say maybe a bit, some people might say a bit cheesier, for the broad, you know, for mainstream appeal, and fair enough, you know. But there's a lot of that out there, so we just don't, there's a niche, which is how the Glades started at Glastonbury, there was the dance village, the main dance tent, should I say, which was wicked at times, but it was getting more and more kind of commercial, and so that's how we suddenly went, hang on a minute, there's a whole area of music that's not being represented here. You know?
Because obviously I went to this year's Glade, and gauging like just talking to people about the fact that Pendulum were playing, was that sort of quite a controversial decision?
Yeah, it was. I mean, look, you know, Pendulum are a killer live band, but they've got a lot of mainstream appeal. But to be fair, when we booked them, which was in October the year before, they hadn't broken like that. That's the thing. And we'd seen them and thought, you know, that's good. It's good music. It is quite poppy. But they hadn't played, you know, on Radio 1, and they hadn't, you know, we didn't kind of, that stage again, they were playing still to adult crowds rather than a load of 14-year-olds. So we just we spotted them and had no idea that they'd go bang like that the next year. And by that stage, we'd already booked them. But it's still, you know, it's good music. But it did cause a bit of consternation with the Glade faithful, like, oh my God, what are they doing, sort of thing. But, you know, the main tent was still rammed when they went on, and the crowd loved it, I've got to say. You know, it was a good show. So I mean, every year the music changes. I mean, this year in 2009, you know, we're going to tap in a little bit more to the sort of a little bit more indie electro vibes, made a little area for that maybe. You know, dubstep obviously we've had for the last 2 to 3 years now since that started coming through. Breakbeat is evolving a lot at the moment. It's getting to there's more psychedelic breaks and, you know, different styles of that. We're bringing some of the West Coast breaks over from California, the much slower kind of, the much slower style. The sort of minimal techno that is becoming much more prevalent now is going to have will have more of a bit more of a profile at the event. All the music, all electronic music's evolving all the time because the people that make it get bored otherwise. So what's our job to do is to make sure that we're just catching things, you know, like that are floating around and on the club scene or on the outdoor scene, or wherever they are. That's what we try and do, is just make a home for all those disparate bits. I mean, like, I'm not into nosebleed gabber myself, but there's a lot of people that do like a bit of it every now and again, and fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? It's not so. I mean, there's quite a bit of the music in the Overkill tent, which is the kind of the really mental mashup, breakcore, electronics nut house that it is, and it's brilliant. I love it. The atmosphere in the tent is wicked. But some of that music is, for me personally, a bit full on. But I've been in the tent and it's kicking off. It's people, people love it. So it's just like, all I want is good vibes, good dance floors, good energy on dance floors, So no, if it's good, and if it's electronic and it's experimental and it's well produced, then there's always a place for it.